Hello, lads, lovelies, and everyone in between. So, I'm just gonna have a little chat about one of my favorite topics, Pimax, and why are they like this? Yeah, I'm a pretty well-known Pimax fangirl, but Jesus Christ, sometimes I just want to grab them and just fucking shake them. So I have a list. I'm just gonna go over all the ways because Pimax is they make amazing products. I absolutely love my Pimax. You know, people ask me what's my favorite headset and what I think is the best headset. I say it's the Pimax 8KX, no question. I love the damn thing. However, Pimax is the Alfa Romeo of the VR world.
Now, for this to be a proper Alfa Romeo, there must be something wrong with it.
Yeah. Like, you're getting an amazing product, but holy fuck, it's going to be glitchy and sometimes can be unreliable and bizarre. And I'm just going to talk about a couple of those things. Yeah. I guess the first one is, why is the software so poorly translated? They've got an office in San Francisco. Somebody there knows English. Like, there are people clearly there who can communicate with you over the support, and their English is just fine. And it's not like there isn't a million translation services they could use. So why is all the software so badly translated? Even their webpage, which they've made some changes to lately, at least for some of their product lines, like the 8KX. And, it's better. Why is it so weird in so many places? I don't get it. It's weird. Yeah. I don't understand why it's like that. Like, why does close mean off? That's not what that word means. I guess we figure it out, but how hard would it be to fix it? Probably not fucking very. Yeah. And then until quite recently, you had weird issues like the 8KX that would ship with firmware that didn't fucking work. What? How? Why? And it took them forever to fix it. I don't understand how that happens. Okay, then my recent video with the eye tracking module, the installation procedure is absolutely insane. It is insane. It makes no sense. You're cutting pieces off your facial interface connection point. That's a bit awkwardly worded. The part where you actually stick your facial interface to is a removable module on these. Actually not a bad idea, but you have to cut pieces off of it. I don't understand. I do not understand how that happened. I'm flabbergasted. And then the software that it comes with is absolute shit. The device is nowhere performing up to how it should be performing. And it's only because a guy, Guppy Express, went and did all the work to bang everything into shape that it's any good at all. Why? Why, Pimax? Why are you like this? Their support is often kind of dubious. They seem to just forget that you have an ongoing issue with them, and you have to fairly continually push them. Yeah, you gotta pester them if you want anything done. That's annoying. It's annoying. Just get it done, right? Good support means a lot to gamers, and especially with expensive hardware like Pimax's. They're a premium company with shit tier support in a lot of respects. Some areas they're pretty good. It's not across the board bad, but I would consider their support pretty spotty at times. You often really have to push them, especially if it's a hardware issue. It took me a long time to get even just the RMA approved for a damaged cable. That shouldn't have been a big deal. It's just a cable and they're quite removable on these. It's not even an expensive part, actually. It's like 100 Canadian bucks. Ooh, it took a while. My work schedule did interfere with that in a way, but it was pretty obviously the cable. The problem occurs with the cable. I replace it with a different cable. Problem goes away. That's pretty clear what was wrong, right? But still, I had to do test after test after test, none of which they considered to be conclusive. And, eventually they said, sure, yeah, we'll replace it. But then we're not done because I had to pay for half the shipping. I have to pay for the shipping there. Valve doesn't do this. Even stinky Oculus doesn't. Oh, wait. Meta. Even stinky Meta doesn't do that. They'll send you a waybill. Pimax should do that too. Okay? Especially when you have to pay like $35 of shipping to replace a $100 cable. It's a bit stinky. It's a bit stinky. Yeah. There you go. And then there's other weird shit. Geez, you guys, like, this is actually pretty bizarre. So, sort of an issue that's been a problem is that the 90 hertz mode, this sort of standard mode you'd want to have for a VR headset these days, on the 8KX has often been a bit fussy about its hardware. So that was an issue for mine initially, then they gave me some weird firmware, and then it fixed it, and it's never been an issue since. No problems with the actual headset. Great, problem solved for me. But a lot of other users had issues with this. So Pimax actually fixed this by coming out with a new hardware revision. But they didn't say to anybody that they did this. They just quietly swapped it out. But even that wouldn't be the end. That's a bit strange, but it wouldn't be the end of the world if it didn't have a lot of weird limitations that the original model doesn't. And that's where things become fucked up. So, it's actually almost unbelievable that they did this. Okay, so, first off, the new headset model only does 90. So you don't have the upscaling mode for 110. And it can't drop down to 75 or 60 hertz should you want to. Because some people are just fine with 75 hertz, and frankly, that's a lot easier to drive than 90. Personally, I find it a bit nauseating. Yeah, but nonetheless, that's something they should have mentioned, that it's a lot more limited, and losing the upscaling mode kind of stinks, because that extra 20 FPS is often pretty noticeable in certain games. Gone, but that's not even the big shit. The big shit is that it no longer works with AMD graphics cards. What? What? Guys, what are you fucking thinking? Why are they like this? Oh shit. And here's the fucked up thing. It took them weeks to fix their webpage. Their webpage said works perfectly with NVIDIA and AMD graphics cards. But if you went under tech specs, they did update it to say that it doesn't work with AMD. But only if you checked over on the tech specs page would it tell you that. On the front page of the product, it did not. So that's pretty unbelievable. They've updated it just in the last couple of days, as far as I understand, to actually say it doesn't work with AMD, and then some of the other stuff's not there yet. It is coming back, but for now it doesn't work. But that's so shitty. Like, I don't understand how those kind of mistakes fucking happen. You'd think you'd be on the case with that right away. Because some guy's gonna have like a 6900 XT. He's expecting to play some fucking wicked games on that shit. And instead it's not gonna fucking work at all. And then what's support gonna say? Nothing useful, right? God, that would be infuriating. And that's why Pimax has this often sort of spotty reputation. Personally, I love Pimax, but I'm also not blind to the fact that they can often be fuck-ups. And those are fuck-ups. Okay, that's fuck-up behavior. I don't know how it happens. Yeah. And even then, the requirements for the cards are not super realistic. They even used to list like a 1080, and that certainly has some limitations about it. So, they still recommend something like a 2060 as the minimum. Oh, that'd be hard on an 8KX, I gotta tell you. Because I have a 3080 Ti. Pretty fucking top end. And if it was twice as fast, I'd still probably bitch about it. There's very few games I actually run just at full bore. I have to cut something down, resolution, FOV or whatever. That's annoying. Although, I mean, it is, to be fair, 4K per eye, right? A little bit about that too. Because that's legit, but, right? So anyway, just going on about sort of requirements and what you need to get in for a Pimax. You must have a top-end gaming PC. You must. Otherwise, you just won't be able to take advantage of this, and you're better off with something in the 5K series, not the 8KX. The 8KX is the tippy top. You must have sweet hardware. Right, so, about the thing I was saying, which I forgot what it was. Right, now I remember. Right, so, while it is 4K per eye, and that is 100% legit, no bullshit, you do have to remember, though, while it is 4K per eye, and that is legit, you do have to remember, though, that this is spread over almost twice the FOV of other headsets. Okay? This is especially important when you're comparing it to something like an Aero or even a Reverb. The Aero looks quite a bit sharper because its 4K per eye is in less than half the field of view, horizontally and vertically. So horizontally it's not quite half, but vertically it's, yeah, right? It's a narrow field of view headset, very narrow. It loses to the Quest 2 in a lot of areas. Oh, yikes. But in that area, it sure looks sweet, right? Also, its eye tracking fucking works without a bunch of jank. The 8KX's does work, but it's with a lot of jank. But do you remember that the actual pixel density is spread out over a much wider field of view. So it's actually not super sharp. It looks amazing. It's certainly better than an Index. Definitely blows away a Quest 2. But it's not super sharp 4K per eye that you'd get on an Aero. And a lot of people don't quite get that. And that's why it's really more competitive with the Reverb. Although some people think the Reverb looks better, I think they're probably very comparable. I actually don't have a Reverb, but from what I've seen, people are kind of going by not quite reliable metrics. They're going through that zoomed in through the lens of the camera view. That's not quite how it actually works because your eye won't zoom in like that. Right? So no, that's actually not accurate. But without going too far off track, these are things that are issues with the 8KX that aren't always fairly represented. And I think it's important that when people say, hey, JameJame, what's your favorite VR headset? And I say the 8KX, and then they say, oh, so that's what I should get? I say, no. You have to really understand what you're getting into. It's extreme, high-end, enthusiast hardware, like an Alfa Romeo is. If you go buy an Alfa Romeo, you're going to get an experience you're not going to get out of your Toyota Corolla, okay? Right? It's going to be quite a bit better than that. But it's also going to be fucking janky. And that's what Pimax is, the Alfa Romeo VR.
Yes, the build quality is a bit ropey in places, and the electrics will probably prove to be a bit iffy.
So yeah, that's really all I have to say. Just a short video, giving Pimax a bit of the business, because they deserve it. They could be so much better with very little effort. Alright guys, love ya. Bye-bye for now.